Hey, this is Joseph Perry. One of my favorite passages in all of the Bible is comes out of Ephesians 4:11 through 16. That passage there, it's talking about the church leaders, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, and it says that they are given to the church to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. So I've always loved that, but the problem is I thought that meant I had to do all the work. Even though I read that part about equipping them to do the work of the ministry, for some reason um, I just felt like I needed to do everything, and then at some point I realized I can't do everything, and so when it comes to discipleship, when it comes to fulfilling the Great Commission, we need a way to be able to get the people outside the church, not in the church, but outside the church, back to their family members, their friends, their coworkers, their neighbors, and let them fulfill the Great Commission. Help them to know their gifts, to understand all these things. And so the problem is that it tells us, and Paul tells us in Ephesians, that we're to equip the saints to do the work. The problem is they don't have any of the tools. And for every job, you need the right tool. So what I did was I developed a tool, and I call it the Go Book. It's the Go Book Foundations, and it's a discipleship tool that can turn any believer into a disciple maker in 12 weeks. In fact, if you give it to the people that have been Christians in your church for a while, they can start immediately. And they can go out, and it's basically the script for discipleship. So it can actually be taught to a novice by a novice. Now, the Bible talks about us not putting novices in church. Well, I'm not talking about laying hands on novices and ordaining them as teachers, but what we have to do is shorten the time that it takes from when a believer walks into a church to the time a believer can go back out of the church and start teaching what they've been taught. And so I've written the script for discipleship. The Go Book actually uses the New Living Translation, and so it targets a third grade reading level. So this can work from the college campus to the trailer park. I've got 8-year-olds that are going through it. I've got people in their 70s going through it. I've got parents taking their children through it, homeschoolers and homeschooling situations. So all kinds of situations, but we finally have a tool that is simple enough, that's stripped down from all the religious jargon. It's not overwhelming. It's very simple. It's very direct, and it has everything that the new believer needs to know to get started in their walk with Jesus, connected to a church, and start making disciples themselves right away. So I'd encourage you to check it out. Go to the website for the Go Book. It's www.gobook.world. You can find out more information about it there. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write.